Today arrived the HTC Desire 820, and this is one of the very big ones with 5.5 inches display. So this is really great, as you can see here in my palm, and especially if you compare it to the actual flagship, that's this one here. This is called the 1M8, and this is a totally different league, as you can see, especially, of course, concerning the display, but also the device itself, and especially the width is of importance, how you feel it and how you can use it with one hand. And as you can see, my thumb isn't reaching almost the opposite corner, so this one is made for using it with two fingers or two hands, so this is something you should know. On the other hand, it's really thin. On most cases I measured 7.7 millimeters. The biggest point is over here on the surface of the 13 megapixels camera. This is 8.4 millimeters. But if you're first going to use it, having it in your palm, you're wondering, this feels very lightweight. Nevertheless, it's 153 grams, so absolutely it's not that light, but compared to the size, it's way below the average, 17% to compare it in numbers, meaning the relation of the measuring of the area compared to the weight is very, very lightweight. So nevertheless, it's very solidly built. If I'm going to a white surface, as you can see here, there's no dark imprints where the glass is going down onto the panel, so it's very solid or very flexible if you want to. So this is quite all right. On the other hand, you cannot remove the back side. The battery is built in. It's lithium polymer, 2600 milliamps. Compared to the very big size of the display, it's a little bit below the average, 13% to be precise. So we have to see the battery tests, how this battery is doing. But on the other hand, it's a brand new processor. For the first time I've had in my test the Snapdragon 615. So it's Octa core, but don't get confused because it's 4 cores with 1.5 gigahertz and 4 cores with 1.0 gigahertz. All Cortex A43, so a mid strength processor, and I've had run some first benchmarks, just a few to get a first impression, and the overall rating of these first benchmarks is 15% below the average. It's kind of okay, but it's mid-range. And there's more you should know, because HTC has announced the Desire 820 as a dual SIM phone, as you can see here. Below this one, this is the SD card slot for up to 128 gigabyte. Internal memory is 16 gigabyte, leaving net memory after you have updated all pre-installed apps. It's a net memory of 7.9 gigabyte. And here you see the two slots for nano SIMs. Nano meaning the very small ones, the tiny ones. You might know, for example, from the iPhone, but as you can see here, at least in this version here in Germany, Europe, this one is sealed. You cannot use it. It's just this slot you can use. So it's a single SIM device here, at least in Germany. So you have to beware on your market to check in advance if in your market you will get the dual SIM or the single SIM version. So be prepared. Yeah, coming back to the display. Yeah, as I said, it's huge, it's great, but compared to the price, it's okay. Here we have a recommended retail price of 329 euros, so that's a mid-range. So it's clear that you do not have Quad HD or at least Full HD, so it's 720 by 1280 pixels. And if I'm going a little bit closer, you can see, all right, you can read all those text without any problems, but it's not a new record concerning the pixel density. It's 269 ppi, by the way. That's way below the average, 45% below the average. So it's not that sharpest display, but on the other hand, it's very bright. I measured 468 nits or candela per square meter. If you compare, both are of course on maximum brightness. If you compare this to the 1M8, this has had 415 candela or nit, however you want, 415, 486. So the cheaper one is brighter. That's a good news. But on the other hand, I now am going to grab my magnifier here, and I wanted to show you the subpixel. This is first the 1M8. That's typical with these red, green and blue subpixels, typical LCD. But as you can see, the subpixels are sometimes a little bit going to the left and the other one's going to the right. So this is a typical dual domain panel, meaning it's optimized in two axes for a viewing angle. And now we see what we have here with the Desire 820. First of all, the subpixels are way bigger, and you can see they are totally straight. So this is not dual domain. It's a normal, regular LCD TFT panel. And what that means, I want to show you here in this, and I'll have to go a little bit over there that you can see. The problem is now here in the studio we do not have the possibility to go outside, so it's a little bit problematical with the reflection, but I hope you already can see what happens if you do not look totally straight onto the panel, but a little bit out of the 90 degrees X. So this is going very, very soon. I mean, this one up here, the Desire 820, below it's the 1M8, where you can see, okay, it's getting a little bit darker, but nevertheless, the colors and the brightnesses or relations are staying the same. But on the upper one, on the Desire 820, you see almost immediately you have what have been black is going to white and white is going to black. So means, in simple words, you do not have that viewing angle stability here on the 820, or just in plain words, it's a little cheap, that panel over here. So it's clear for the price that you have to be prepared for some compromises, and this is one of them. On the other hand, as I said, it's 13 megapixels, 8 megapixels, videos in full HD. You have LTE 4G, dual cell HSPA for up to 42 gigabytes in 3G networks. You have Wi-Fi N including 5 gigahertz, but not Wi-Fi AC, Bluetooth 4.0, NFC, and of course, as you might have seen already, that typical HTC user interface called Sense 6. The only thing I've missed are these motion gestures, motion launch gestures, meaning that you have just to double tap on the touchscreen to wake up the device. In this case, you have to use the on-off standby button here on this side. Unfortunately, I really love this feature on the M8 or E8, but unfortunately this is a Desire and not a One. Here we go. Yeah, at least here I've seen 3 colors. This one is called Santorini White, of course, because of the blue accents and frames here. Very chic, I love that. And there is a totally white one and a third one called Tuxedo Gray. I would say it's kind of just simple gray or something like that, but very, very smart looking, and now available, as I told you, for recommended retail price here in Germany of 329 euros without any contract. I'm pretty sure that it will go down in a few days or weeks below 300 euros without any contract. And for that bigger screen, this might be of interest for some people. And by the way, we have, let me not forget this one, stereo front speakers. I will have a little sound check with the M8 in a separate video, so you can listen if the sound quality of the speakers is the same one. Well, I hope this is enough now at the moment for the HTC Desire 820. Thanks for watching, and please be so kind to recommend my channel and to subscribe to it. Thanks for that in advance, and take care.